Have you heard of folk tales about Asha and Misrung? Have you heard how they met? No. It's okay, it's not your fault. I will narrate to you. Once upon a time, there lived the wisest man on the earth named Herakandingpu. Literally means the essence of God. He was a physician par excellence. He knew all the medicines for all types of sicknesses. He loved every living being. All the living creatures used to approach him to obtain healing whenever they succumbed to sickness or injury. Upon seeing the good works done by him, Satan began to burn with jealousy. He never obtained a chance anymore to instigate violence upon the living beings because they never approached him for any help. One day, Satan summoned all his disciples for a meeting. They knocked their brain out to invent a technique to kill Herakandingpu. Eventually, they acquiesced to poison him. Herakandingpu used to go fishing every day in a river. One morning, as usual, he came down to the river to check his hibao, a conical shape of fishing basket made of bamboo which usually fixes against a strong current of water. Surprisingly, he saw a bird that had not registered yet in his powerful memory. "Oh, what a strange bird," he pondered. The bird looked half alive. Thinking it was a harmless and unfortunate creature wanting empathy, he dug his right hand into his hibao. Waiting and watching a chance upon this hand, as per the plan of Satan, the bird sprung up and pecked his skin and vomited the poison into the scratch and flew away with exclamation, "Ka, ka, ka." A triumphant. The wise man widened his eyelids in order to trace where the bird would perch. But it was in vain. It disappeared into the thin air. Then he understood that at last, Satan had outsmarted him. The wound began to bleed profusely. He tried many herbal leaves, but they were proved to be an abortive effort. He knew then that the only medicine to cure that wound was the bark of Singbang. It is a tree that has the power to give life from death, or elixir of life. Returning home, he instructed his only son, Misrung, to fetch him the bark of Singbang. He warned him not to pay any attention to any crowd or stranger on the way. Misrung would have to get it if he had to save his father. He set out to the east since Singbang was in the east. On his way, he encountered a crowd mourning for his father. Satan had made his father's figure with a banana stem and told him that it was his father. Instead of inquiring about the corpse, Misrung scurried back home to see whether his daddy was still alive. He was surprised to see his father still alive. Father asked him whether he brought the bark or not. Misrung gave him a negative nod. Again, father told him to hurry off, otherwise he would soon be dead. Keeping the same advice in his mind, he set off once again to the east. At another place, he came across another mourning crowd. A man from the crowd asked Misrung where he was heading to. Father warned him not to converse with anyone, but Misrung forgot it completely. Hence, he told the man that he was on his way to the east to get the bark of Singbang. The man exclaimed that they were mourning the demise of his father because he was the greatest man who ever lived on the earth. Misrung was told to behold the face of his father for the last time. Behold, on the coffin he saw his father's face. Despondent and desperate, he made his way home. Upon reaching his house, he was shocked to behold his father still alive. "My son, have you brought?" asked father. Misrung cried out, "I am sorry, father. I saw you lying dead with my own eyes on the way." Father knew by then that he would certainly die. With this sentiment, he gave his last advice. "My son, my last advice for you is this. Next time, if you find me dead when you return home, you must track that river up till you find a certain man honing his knife on a pebble. You must approach him quietly from behind and hug him before he notices you with a phrase, Asi Asa, my brother Asa. If you miss it, then you will die. If you succeed it, then you will live with him. Having said this, Father once again told him to fetch him the bark. Misrung was really determined then to fulfill it this time without fail, come what might. He set off for the third time to the east. On his way, he noticed a mourning crowd once again, but he didn't pay any attention to them. Ultimately, he made it. He sliced off the bark and dashed off to home. Reaching home, he found his father already passed away. He wasn't prepared to accept this fact yet. It shocked him. He mourned for him for many days. He bemoaned himself for his foolishness. He began to wonder how to make his living. In the nick of time, he remembered his father's advice. In order to accomplish the last advice of his father for his life, he trod down the same path where his father always used to go fishing. The path ended in the river, and thence he made his way against the current of water. After jumping from one stone to the other, and wading through the zigzag windings of the river, Misrung spotted a man sharpening his knife beside the river, facing the east. Misrung drew closer to him from behind quietly and hugged him and exclaimed, Asi Asa, my brother Asa. Asa reacted sharply. He sliced the very pebble he was honing into 2 pieces and said, Asa, if you haven't said that, I should have finished you up. Misrung narrated to him about his father and his life. Asa accepted him as his brother. Asa was a shrewd and wise man. He made a living out of his brain, unlike Misrung. Thenceforth, they became brothers. Thanks for watching, and please continue to support and share for more stories like this.